Mr. President, in recent weeks, American moms and dads have been scouring supermarkets and drugstores looking for baby formula. Parents are desperate to feed their infants and repeatedly check brick and mortar and online stores, ask family and friends to purchase and ship formula wherever they might be, purchase mother's milk online, and even hospitalize their babies in some instances because they can't find formula. The situation is worse still for those parents who need specialty formula for babies with medically required diets. What parents experience today is rightly called a formula crisis. In one of the most stressful times of life, the parents of newborns are left in an unimaginable position. My heart breaks for those infants and for their parents. The sound of a baby's cry carries a different weight in times like these. Families in my own state feel this crisis quite acutely. Utah has the largest families, the most children per capita, and the highest birth rate of any state in the union. Utah's families do indeed feel this acutely. I've read and I've heard so many heart-wrenching stories from Utah families. Their searches have expanded from the local grocery store to stores across town to the internet and finally to total desperation as formula has become out of stock everywhere within reach. Unfortunately, when the White House was asked recently what parents should do, the White House said, quote, "Ask your pediatrician who may have formula samples for possible alternatives," close quote. What an embarrassing stopgap measure. Now, look, not every crisis is one that, like this one, is of government's own creation. Not every crisis is one that, like this one, could therefore be resolved with fairly simple action. It's inexcusable that the response was to just ask your pediatrician because your pediatrician might have samples on hand. Then there are some in Congress who simply want to throw money at the problem without addressing the weaknesses in this critical supply chain, or without removing the red tape that caused this problem to begin with and is now standing in the way of parents. American babies deserve better. Today, Mr. President, the Senate can help American families by immediately passing my bill called the Formula Act. This bill responds to the crisis in three simple ways that will help solve the formula crisis and feed American babies. First, my bill would suspend tariff collection and quantity on formula imports. Formula that we can bring in from abroad is taxed at a rate of 17.5% upon entering the United States. We can help ease the skyrocketing prices and encourage companies to import as much baby formula as possible simply by suspending this collection of tariffs. Second, my bill would temporarily allow formula imports from a number of safe countries, like those in Europe, from which we're comfortable importing pharmaceutical products. This will allow us to access plentiful and safe formula supplies coming from abroad and meet the needs that we have today. Finally, my bill would allow WIC recipients to buy imported brands of formula with WIC vouchers. Under the current system, most WIC parents can buy only a specific brand, the brand listed on the voucher label, which in many circumstances might be unavailable. My bill will allow these parents to buy from available stock and feed their children. Mr. President, keeping American infants fed should be one of the least controversial proposals imaginable. American babies are going hungry, and the federal government is standing in the way. My Formula Act will help solve the formula crisis and make sure American babies do not go unfed. I'm pleased to be joined in this effort by Senators Grassley, Daines, Cassidy, and Wicker. This bill has the support of a number of outside groups and countless Americans. We can help solve this crisis today. We can make sure American babies' cries do not go unanswered. We must pass the Formula Act. And to that end, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of S. 4261, which is at the desk.